Hey y'all, my physical TBR is very long. Now I have a total of 29 books. We're just not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna show you the books that I have. And I have 2 more on the way. Don't ask me why I do this. Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. I just recently purchased some books by Sophie Lark and I'm excited to try them. A Fate Inked in Blood. I've seen this a few times around TikTok. I read a couple pages of this one, The Sweetest Oblivion. I paused, but I'm intrigued. James God's Play. I'm currently reading this. I keep coming back to it. I don't know what it is. Like, I like it, but I keep putting it down and coming back. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I definitely want to read this. I love The Great Alone. Can't wait to see what this is about. A Broken Promise. I can't really remember the synopsis for this, but I love the cover. Sovereign by Rhea Morris Edwards. I am almost finished with this, but might be a little too hardcore for me. Court of Winter by Krista Street. Don't know a lot about this, but it's here on my shelf waiting to be read. Guild by Raven Kennedy. This is a part of the Plated Prisoner series. I was excited to start this, but I read the first chapter and it really turned me off. I'll eventually go back to it. So I paused it and read something else. I purchased book 2 before even reading it. I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna be into this, so I'm gonna get ahead of myself and order book 2. I will eventually read them, promise. Now, Iron Flame. Why did I not know there is going to be a total of 5 books in this series? And book 3 comes out in January, but what about the other 2? And for how empty I felt after finishing Fourth Wing, I have not read this yet. I might delay this read until Onyx Storm comes out, or indefinitely until the whole series is out. So we shall see if I'll read this. 5 Total Strangers. I've read this before, but I want to reread it because I read it a few years ago. I remember the feeling. It was intense, it was suspenseful, and I want to do a reread. Immortal Dark by Tyges Germa. I haven't read anything by this author before. I think this is about vampires. I love a good vampire book. I purchased this from Ollie's because I like the cover and Dracula, so I want to see what it's about. I also purchased this from Ollie's, Blood of Troy. It's about a female warrior and I eat that up all the time. Love in Other Words. Now, there's many good reviews on this book. I read the synopsis. I'm thinking I might not like it, but I'm still gonna read it and see what I think. And then Miso Soup. I was supposed to read this during October, but October was crazy for me, so I did not get to it. It's a horror book, so eventually I'll get to this. Court of Thorns and Roses, ACOTAR. I don't know when I'm gonna start this series. I will start it one day. The Girl in the Locked Room. I believe this is for a younger audience, but I saw a comment that said it was really good, and I was meant to read this in October, but did not get to it. There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. I've seen this a few times on TikTok and purchased it, so yeah. Half-Blood. Also can't remember what this is about, but I'll get to it. Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I believe it's a thriller, and I do love a good thriller. For Soul to Take, excited to get into this as well. I did not get into the audiobook, but I'm going to give the physical copy a try. Last Days by Adam Neville. I tried to get into this, but I was falling asleep. I'm gonna give it another try, but I might DNF it and get rid of it. The Cruel Prince. I just need to see what the hype's about. I have FOMO. The Mystery of Dark Hill School. I was meant to read it in October, did not read it. And the same for this one. Coronado Stories, horror related. I was meant to read it in October. The last 2 I have, The Throne of Broken Gods by Amber V. Nicole. This is book 2 in her Gods and Monsters series. And then book 3, Dawn of the Cursed Queen. I cannot wait to read these. I'm loving the series. The only thing, it's another unfinished series. I keep doing this to myself, but I cannot wait to read these. Book 4 comes out next May or March, I believe, and I don't know how I'm gonna survive. And that is everything on my physical TBR currently. I have 2 more on the way. Have you guys read any of these? Should I move up one of these on my TBR in my lineup? You know.